Welcome to Brainiac, the show that takes science by the ankles and dangles it over a crocodile swamp. The big science on Brainiac tonight. Washing your smalls the lazy man's way. Does drinking lager make you bad at sport?
Steady.
What happens if you eat carrots for a month?
I am going orange.
The black box gets a kicking from a Bigfoot. And quiet please, we go snooker loopy and crack open another caravan. But first, a shock announcement. Take one very large deserted warehouse. Introduce some low-amp, 9-volt electrical equipment, one Brainiac, and you have yourself an experiment. The current that these electrode pads will carry produces electrical impulses that will stimulate specific muscle groups. Today, we're experimenting to see if it's possible to play keepy uppy whilst being electrocuted. Our Brainiac has 2 pads on his arms and 2 pads on his back. When the electrical charge is administered, the strength of the current overrides any signals the body normally gets. Keepy uppy is a test of skill and requires many complex movements and calculations. Balance, timing and coordination all play a large part. Now, normally the shock, which lasts for 2 seconds, is administered at random. But occasionally, things do go wrong. Sometimes in electrical circuits, you get what's called a short, like now. What this means is that instead of the occasional jolt, our Brainiac is getting a continuous succession of 2-second electrical shocks. Unfortunately, we thought he was just mucking about, so we left him to it. The truth was, though, it was actually hurting rather a lot. We did switch it off, eventually, and afterwards we all had a good laugh about it. Well, we did. Keepy uppy. One more thing you can't do whilst being electrocuted.
Here's one for you. What's the opposite of opposite?
It'll probably come as no surprise to hear that Brainiacs are not mad keen on the whole laundry experience. To be honest, no one really notices the pond of unwashed clobber when you all smell the same. Pretty bad. But there comes a time when even Brainiacs have to buckle down to this chore. So why not have some fun while you're at it? A big pool of water. If you only wash your clothes once a year, you've got to do it properly. A sprinkle of soap, and a pile of curry-stained T-shirts. Even Brainiacs know there's more to washing than just throwing your clothes in the water. What's needed is some agitation. Yep, it's time for TNT. Make it fizz, and off we go. Warms the water and churns the clothes. It's not 100 revolutions a minute, but it has scared off the worst of the stains. Bit damp now, though. A washing line, yes, but we can't be here all day. It's not exactly a spin dryer, but it can be. A rocket on each corner should provide the propulsion we need. Not something you should try at home. Fireworks can have that nasty habit of biting back. More ignition, more standing well back, and our washing is in a spin. Well, sort of. The actual rotation, not quite enough to get them bone dry, but the heat helps a little. You can't beat the fresh smell of newly washed clothes. But they're not wearable yet. They're going to need ironing. We can't walk around looking scruffy. Irons are not the lazy man's way. We need something a little more industrial. Some instant pressing, lobbing a heavy-duty anvil off a 100-foot crane, our favourite solution to stubborn creases. Beat steam pressing with an iron any day. If this hasn't done the job, nothing will. Oh yeah, like new. We've never looked this good. Washing, drying, ironing. The lazy man's guide to laundry.
Nice monkey watching.
Ballistics can be defined as the study of the dynamics of projectiles and/or the study of the flight characteristics of said projectiles. But for John Tickle and Brainiac, ballistics also means a chance to put different objects into different devices and make them go bang.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the daddy of all our cannons. But before we light the fuse on this one, let's see how our other back garden ballistics have got on.
Using physics, we've been able to work out launch velocities, peak trajectory heights, and projectile ranges. Of course, this has just been an excuse to make our very own launch devices. The 3 crisp packets and a splash of lighter fluid returned some favourable results, but the best performer by far was our hairspray-powered spud gun, travelling a massive distance of 77.23 metres.
Chips for tea.
OK, so some pretty impressive stuff there. But now we're playing the serious game. We're using a specially designed propellant made of nitrocellulose. And a projectile is this bowling ball. Now, the tube has been made to measure, so it's a really nice, snug fit. That's important, because when the charge goes off, we don't want any of those expanding gases escaping round the bowling ball and losing power. All right, lads, everything set? Yep, that's in. OK, happy to go?
Yep, we're ready.
Cool, let's have the key then.
Now, this beast has never been fired before, so anything could happen.
Firing in 3, 2, 1. That was rubbish, gentlemen. Right, can we try it with more charge?
We didn't even bother to measure that attempt, as we know we can do better. We've got more nitrocellulose and we're doubling the amount, which in theory means 4 times the power.
OK, take 2. Ready to fire? And firing in 3, 2, 1, fire! Goes, it goes. Oh, massive! That's more like it, isn't it? Cool. Nice.
Our bowling ball hit the ground 35.2 metres later, reached a peak height of 8.8 metres and had a launch velocity of 18.57 metres per second.
OK, this is what makes Brainiac great. This is the size of our first charge. This is the size of the charge we're using now.
The big question remains, though. Will it be too much power for the cardboard cannon?
Firing in 3, 2, 1, fire!
More charge didn't mean more distance. The 10-pound bowling ball landed pretty much in the same spot.
Right, I think we found our optimum charge. We're not going to get the bowling ball to go any further because the propellant is quite slow burning. That's why we see all the flame coming out of the muzzle after the cannonball has left. We need something lighter. So Brainiacs, bring in those watermelons. Now, we've got a whole range of shapes there. I think shot selection is going to be quite important because we need quite a tight fit in the barrel of the gun.
Once we'd found the 2 best-sized watermelons, it was time to flick the switch.
Firing in 3, 2, 1, fire!
Melon number 1, very disappointing, only reaching 9.5 metres.
Here's our last watermelon. We've chosen one that's quite a bit looser than the first one, as you can see. Now, this could go either one of 2 ways. Either it's going to come out of the barrel quite nicely, because it's loose, or there's so much gas escaping around the edge, it just won't come out at all. So, luck of the gods, really. OK, range is clear. Getting ready to fire. 3, 2, 1, fire!
So Mother Nature not providing us with the kind of projectile we needed. With a distance of only 12.62 metres, it just couldn't compete with our bowling ball.
Well, perhaps the melons weren't as good as the bowling ball, but that's because they weren't so tightly fitted inside the tube. Overall, though, we can say back garden ballistics, cracking effort.
Snooker player Bill Werbenek used to drink 50 pints of lager a day. In fact, he used to reckon he couldn't even play without being tanked up. He even persuaded the Inland Revenue to make his beer tax-deductible. OK, he's dead now, but Andy Fordham, the darts player, is still very much alive. And drinking vast quantities of beer hasn't done him any harm at all. In fact, he became the world champion on 25 pints a day, all of which begs the question, is getting tanked up good for your game?
This is our Brainiac guinea pig, and this is some lager. We're going to be introducing this guinea pig to this lager in carefully measured doses throughout the show. He's also going to be playing a number of sports. First of all, he's going to play them stone cold sober, and we're going to note down how well he plays. Then we're going to introduce the drink. First, he's going round the clock on the dartboard, sober.
This could take some time to finish, so do join us when we'll see how he got on sober and then how several pints of lager affect his game.
This object has been magnified 450 times. It's something most of us see every day, although never this close up, and it's never the same twice. It's also quite often found in toilets. What do you think it is? Find out in just a moment. This is Brainiac, the show that crouches down behind science and invites you to give it a shove. Also to come, Bigfoot sticks the boot in to the Brainiac black box. And an interesting combination, a bag of gunpowder and a microwave. Earlier, we showed you this. It's an object that's been magnified 450 times. Most of us don't read it from cover to cover, and some get stuck on page 3. It's part of the letter I from a page of newsprint. Now, doctors are always saying that people should have a varied diet if they want to enjoy good health. Well, we at Brainiac believe the exact opposite, because we like to make people eat just one kind of food, lots of it, for long periods of time. Because we like to see what it does to their bodies. Like, can eating certain foods make you change colour? We've got 3 victims.
I'm Laurie, and I'll be eating beetroot all month to see if I turn red.
I'm Natalie, and I'll be eating carrots all month just to see if I turn orange.
I'm Dan, and I'll be eating spinach for a month to see if I go green.
Red, orange, green. Yep, we're seeing if we can make our very own traffic light. These 3 housemates are going to eat what we tell them for a whole month to see if we can change the colour of their skin. On the way, we can also check out a few other beliefs about eating certain foods. Instead of their usual varied diet, each of our guinea pigs are going to have a cupboard full of the vegetable of choice. Well, our choice. Their task, to finish up all we give them before the month is up. So, it's out with the old and in with the new in their food cupboard. No room for cakes and biscuits. We'll look after those.
We'll see you next month.
And we've asked them to keep a video diary along the way to see what effect it has on them.
I'm so tired of these things.
I was almost having, like, rabbit poo.
Join us later in the show to see how they got on.
Yum.
Stop! The following experiment is dangerous for your safety and the protection of those around you. Do not try this at home. No, really, don't. This tightly wrapped package with a wire in it is 20 grams of gunpowder. First discovered in China in the 9th century, it's thought alchemists stumbled across it as they tried to find the elixir of immortality. For our microwave oven, however, this gunpowder is the elixir of death. Microwaving the wire provided the spark, the gunpowder did the rest. We do these experiments so you don't have to. Do not try this at home. Here on Brainiac, we've got our hands on something a bit special, flown in from the USA just for us. It can withstand 20,000 feet of pressure underwater. It has an astonishing fire resistance of 1100 degrees centigrade. It has a staggering impact tolerance of 3,400 Gs. We're not supposed to have it, but we have. It's a black box flight recorder, the strongest box ever made, and it's yellow. In an attempt to see just how tough this black box really is, it's already been attacked with ancient heavy artillery, burned at 1,000 degrees in some napalm, shot at by some posh boys, and dropped off a 100-foot crane into a vat of acid. And guess what? It survived. But now we're winding it up a bit, because now we've got ourselves a big toy. Bigfoot. Each wheel is the size of a grown man. It runs at 56 yards to the gallon. It goes from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. 5 tons of throbbing motorized bully boy. But our black box isn't going into battle undefended. It's getting some extra protection deep inside an old caravan. Off he goes then. Well, so much for the protective qualities of the fiberglass caravan. One trample with Bigfoot and its insides are now all outside. A crumpled mess of melamine and beige carpet. It's really no help to our box at all. A couple more journeys just to make sure. So, how many pieces is our black box in now? We fear the worst. But no, it's still very much in one piece. Barely a scratch on it. Round 1 goes to the yellow flight recorder case. Is he up for another go? Looks like it. Safety belt on. Could be a bumpy journey ahead. Go on then, you overgrown schoolboy. Let's see your worst. The 1,500 horsepower engine kicks in hard and he's off again. One good stop, but Bigfoot packs 22 gallons of fuel and he means to use every drop for this job. He makes 4 car-splintering, chassis-smashing journeys, and by the end, he's pretty sure our box has had its last outing. A celebratory spin in triumph. But is that a little premature? Nestling deep in the tangled wreckage, one slightly dented, slightly scratched, bruised black box. Bruised, but alive. The flight recorder has seen off one more contender and lives to fight another day. See you, Beardy, with your overgrown toy. Go pick on someone your own size. Next time, it's the breaker's yard for the black box. Can it survive this kind of treatment?
"101 uses for a Wii." Hey, gardener man. Getting fed up with the nettles and dandelions choking your favorite plants? Time for nature's finest weed killer. Wee-wee! Its high nitrogen content will get rid of those weeds in no time. Job done! But wait, here's another idea. Once those weeds have died, water down the rest of your urine and you can splash it on your flowers. Yes, that's right. The nitrogen then works as a plant food. Don't make it too strong, though, or it'll burn those tender shoots. Wee-wee, nature's way of being kind to your garden.
Chewing gum, potentially a killer. But just how dangerous is it?
Well, I was always told when I was young, because I used to chew my hair, never to swallow chewing gum because it'd get caught up in your stomach and you'd have to have an operation to get it out. Probably get stuck in your throat.
Wraps itself inside your stomach, gets all wound out. Don't know.
So, does it? Down at the lab, 3 brainiacs willing to put their life on the line. Each has a piece of chewing gum. This potential killer can be found in virtually every sweet shop in the country.
Please prepare to swallow.
We've asked our 3 to keep their mouths as dry as possible to increase the possibility of the gum getting stuck in the throat.
Now please chew your gum.
Full mastication is important. We don't want any nasty sharp edges when it goes down.
Chew.
Chewing gum is a compound of synthetic rubber and artificial flavouring. How anyone sold that as a great idea for a sweet is a mystery. Here we go then.
Now please swallow your gum.
This is the moment of the greatest danger. If the theories are to be believed, then there is the distinct possibility that the gum could get stuck and block the windpipe. This would cause sudden death by asphyxiation. Important they all finish the job. This is teamwork. If one dies, they all will. Fortunately, we've got a lot of spares. The gum could get stuck at any corner, but so far it's looking good for our brainiacs. No keeling over yet.
Now we're going to do a little light exercise to get the chewing gum moving down the alimentary canal, so we'll start with a bit of jogging on the spot.
A little light exercise puts them at maximum risk of the gum wrapping itself around their inside.
Rotations from the hip.
If these contortions don't cause a problem, nothing will.
Rotate the other way, really work that chewing gum down. That's it. And let's finish with some star jumps. And trousers back up and rest.
But it's looking good. It appears that the Brainiac anatomy can deal with whatever is thrown at it.
Any feeling of internal knottiness? How about any sensation of stickiness around the stomach area? Nothing at all? And no gum wrapping around internal organs? Nothing at all? Lovely.
The final proof of the pudding, however, is the X-ray, taken 3 weeks after swallowing the gum. A quick examination of the results reveals no entanglement, no twisting, no sign of wrapping around the body. In fact, it has all been completely digested. So, there you go. Chewing gum, not a killer.
Bored of water? Don't be. Here's a fascinating fact about the world's favourite drink. Pour some cold water into an ice tray. Get some hot water and do the same. Bung them both in the freezer. Wait a while. And... Blimey! The hot water freezes faster than the cold. Whoa! One of the world's great mysteries.
Every day in the Brainiac lab, our email inbox is flooded with suggestions for experiments from the great British public. The mad, the bad, and the downright stupid. Our dedicated research team go through each and every one of these suggestions and thoroughly assess them for their scientific value. Just a very few ideas actually go forward for testing. And if your idea is picked, be sure the Brainiac team will track you down.
I can do science, me.
Today we're in Herne Hill, grabbing Dad and his lad, Russ and Charlie E. If you're lucky enough to be selected, then you too could be picked up in style by the Brainiac team and chauffeur-driven to our top-secret, state-of-the-art research laboratory. For all of you wannabe scientists out there, it's your chance to get really scientific. It's I Can Do Science, Me, with Charlotte Hudson.
Today, it's Charlie Eade. Dear Brainiac, I want to know what is the most number of pants you can wear and still be able to walk. A fine question from a fine mind. Well, Charlie, you've got the question, we've got the pants. Boxers, Y-fronts, dad's pants, girls' pants, knickers, jockeys, bloomers. We've got a name for every pair and many pairs to spare. 5 on, and it's easy. A stroll in the park for 8-year-old Charlie Eade. Pants, we've got plenty. We've gutted the high street of Gusset. Charlie's taken the bottom out of the market. OK, the science. Well, the more pants you wear, the harder it is to make a proper stride. Simple, really. The sheer bulk and tightness of the elastic around the legs sees to that. But after 15 pairs, can Charlie still stride off manfully?
Now walk, please.
Yes, he can.
5 pairs of pants, 10, even 15. And Charlie Eade, 8 of Herne Hill, can still walk. Where will it end?
Pants, 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 pants. And still they come. Oh, no. Oh, yes, Charlie. There's plenty more where they came from. The largest pants in the world are 9.5 metres wide. 180 people could squeeze into them. Charlie told us that. Bit of a pants expert, this boy. "25 pairs on.
And walk, please.
Walking now a bit like a Thunderbird's puppet, but it's still definitely a walk.
How does that feel?
It's a bit tight.
Keep those knickers coming. Yeah, it's getting tough, but he's pressing on. This boy won't be beaten by a box full of underwear. And he can still walk. Yep, this experiment really is pants, but you should see the ones we rejected.
And walk.
Up to 40 pairs, and Charlie's still able to stagger. And now it's 47. Walking not fun when you're bound up in terraline. Now 48.
It's enough pants.
A little half-hearted wonder, and Charlie calls it a day.
His name is Charlie Eade. He wanted to know the most number of pants you can wear and still walk. The answer? 48 pairs.
I can do science, May.
The appliance of science. Today, it's friction. And it's a day out in the park for Dad and his lad. But oh dear, someone's been very careless with their litter. That banana skin looks dangerous. Dad knows that friction is the force which acts to oppose the motion of two touching surfaces. With less friction, objects slide over each other more easily. So remember, kids, don't mess with friction.
You join us as we test out whether drinking beer improves sporting performance. Now, our Brainiac has played a collection of games stone cold sober. We've got the results of those. He's now finishing off 2 carefully measured pints of lager, and we're about to test him again. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad.
OK, well, it's darts again. Round the clock, hitting every number in turn in the minimum number of darts, so off you go.
Previously, while sober, this Brainiac cleared the balls off this pool table in exactly 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Then he managed to score 3 goals in 35 seconds. He also managed to go round the dartboard in 32 darts. So how's he doing now after 2 pints? So far, he's up to number 18, and he's used 26 darts.
19. And 20. 29 darts, proving that this Brainiac is indeed better after 2 pints of lager than when he was stone cold sober.
On to the pool then. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to beat. You need a clear head for this game, not helped by having lager in your system. However, alcohol does relax the muscles, reduces performance anxiety, and increases self-confidence. Remember, this is a controlled experiment. Drinking in quantity is not big or clever and will probably make you very sick. And it seems the good and the bad effects have cancelled each other out. This Brainiac clears the table in exactly the same time as he did before the beer. Now it's the football. Sober, it took 35 seconds. So how well will he do after 2 pints?
2,
Well, alcohol affects your balance, coordination and sense of judgment, and it certainly shows. It takes him 10 seconds longer to complete the task.
And that's 45 seconds.
Join us when we see how much worse it gets with 5 pints inside him.
Steady.
Things John Tickle's body can't do.
Come in. Hello, Mr. Tickle. Would you stand over there, please? Now, Mr. Tickle, please close your eyes and hold out your arm. Now, I would like you to tell me when my finger reaches your elbow.
Touch receptors cover our entire bodies, but some areas, like the lips or groin, have more than others. The forearm has relatively few, making this challenge particularly hard.
Now.
I'm afraid, Mr. Tickle, that is wrong.
One more thing John Tickle's body can't do. Which fruit floats? Featuring Professor Myang Lee and her big basket of fruit. Today, she's got a round and plump grapefruit. So what's your guess? Does it sink or does it float? We'll give you a few moments to argue about it and give you the answer in just a moment. This is Brainiac, the show that does for science what a doner kebab does for heartburn. Also to come, some strange side effects for Carrot Girl.
My wee smells a bit strange.
And sink or swim, our office Brainiac's getting desperate. But first, earlier, Professor Myang Lee posed the question, does her round, plump grapefruit sink or does it float? Yes, grapefruits float.
Here's one for you. It's a fact. If you're ever losing an argument, just start quoting statistics and people will believe you. 94% of the time.
We've got 3 guinea pigs here on Brainiac, and we're trying to make a traffic light. These 3 are eating beetroot, carrots and spinach for a whole month, as we want to change the colour of their skin. Red, orange and green. So, is it working?
I think there's only you can see. The elbows, maybe slightly, there's sort of a ring of slight different colour.
Well, I'm not sure about this with the beetroot, but I do have red patches there and there where I'm losing my hair.
I am going orange. I've got sort of weird, kind of glowy patches across my chest.
Alongside this experiment, we decided to take the opportunity to test out a couple of other theories. For instance, it's often claimed that eating carrots can help you see in the dark. 2 weeks of carrot munching should then have made quite a difference to our guinea pig.
OK, Natalie. Now, I've turned off the lights in that room and blacked out the windows, and there's a picture of a donkey in there, and I'd like you to take this tail and stick it on its bottom and get it as close to the right place as you can.
OK.
OK, now close your eyes and keep them shut until I say open. OK, do you want to go in that room?
OK, I'm in.
And open.
Where's the donkey?
Foods high in carotene, like obviously carrots, are also high in vitamin A little of which is good for the heart, circulation, skin and lungs, and can also improve eyesight.
How'd you get on, all right?
Yeah, fine.
Seeing in the dark, though, is that possible? Bang goes that theory, then. Maybe we'll get more of a result with the Spinach Man. It's long been believed that spinach made you stronger.
Very good.
The cartoon character Popeye was always depicted as getting his strength from eating shed loads of the stuff. So, is there any truth in that one?
Now please lift this weight.
We gave him some weights to lift before he went on his greens-only diet. Back then, he wasn't able to lift this heavy weight.
OK, that's enough, thank you.
2 weeks later, can he do any better?
OK, now can you please lift these weights?
No, it appears that if anything, he's even weaker than he was before he started.
No, OK, thank you.
Puny before and puny after. 4 weeks later, the experiment was up. How do they look? Well, Carrot Girl does have a somewhat orange tinge on her hands, arms and ears. Beetroot Boy is slightly flushed, but Mr. Spinach, nothing. And as far as traffic lights go, well, you be the judge. By the way, the real traffic light is the one on the left. In 1983, Twisted Sister sang "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll," but we here at Brainiac think it's baloney. This big blue beast is what's known as an air mortar. Its sole purpose in life is to fire things out of its funnel using compressed air, which makes it an ideal tool for us. Can't stop rock and roll? You can with an air mortar. This experiment is a simulation of what could become a very real situation. If the world's temperature increases by just 3 degrees, sea levels could rise by 7 meters. If you're caught unprepared in your office, which product should you grab? So far, the worst performer has been cardboard storage boxes. The best, an empty water cooler bottle. Office supplies are now at a critical level, so our Brainiac is going to have to make do with what's left. There's the alarm, and he's going for the table. Well, this will be interesting. Most tables are made of wood, but of course some are made of chipboard and MDF. If it's the latter, he'll be in trouble, as it's much denser than wood and therefore won't be as buoyant. The metal legs won't help him either. Well, he's really struggling. The table's slowly but surely making its way to the bottom, leaving our Brainiac once again alone in the water. The office table, another office product you should avoid if looking for buoyancy.
Does lager improve your game? That's the question we're asking down here at the Brainiac Lab.
This Brainiac got better at darts after he drunk 2 pints of beer. Then he played pool, clearing up the table as fast as he could, and he scored the same time when he was sober as he did on 2 pints.
Yes!
And in the football, he performed a little worse after 2 pints, taking 10 seconds longer to score the 3 goals.
So here is our Brainiac, and I can tell you that he's been drinking solidly for the last hour. How many pints is that?
This is the 5th.
5. That should do it. We'll finish that one off then. Okay. Great. 5 pints of lager, 3 games to play. Let's get back to that dartboard again. Come on.
World champion Andy Fordham may be able to cope on large quantities of beer, but for ordinary-sized mortals, drinking this much alcohol surely can't help. Your balance goes, as well as your coordination and vision.
I think we're going to be some time. Steady.
So much so, in fact, that even after 15 minutes, he couldn't actually finish the game. The scoreboard shows a DNF. Did not finish.
So, that's 39 darts, and you're up to number 4. I think we can safely say he's not going to do it. Let's move on to the pool. Now, you had exactly the same time. Stone cold sober, and after 2 pints, 2 minutes and 5 seconds is what we want to beat.
Five pints of beer swilling inside his body now has its effect. Technically speaking, he's shot to pieces. The eyes are all over the place, the coordination completely gone. The fine motor skills, well, there's nothing fine about them.
That's 10 minutes and 34 seconds.
10 minutes and 34 seconds. You're clearly useless at pool after 5 pints. I'll take that, thank you very much. Now, the next challenge is football. Remember, he's got to be 35 seconds, stone cold sober time, or 45 seconds after 2 pints. Let's see how he gets on.
3, 2, 1.
Nowadays, they ban alcohol from football stadiums, and it's not hard to see why. On or off the pitch, beer and the beautiful game are not a great combination. Quite apart from losing his ability to dribble, at least in a football sense, turn and shoot, it looks like his will to complete this task has completely sapped away. This time around, it takes him a full 1 minute and 8 seconds.
So, a pitiful 1 minute and 8 seconds. I think we can safely conclude that 5 pints of lager is really too much for sporting activities.
Pub science, the Brainiac alternative to pie and mash.
Well, I would have said it's his. Yeah, I got the
It's all
last
right,
one.
lads. It's all right. Settle down. We'll use science to sort this out. A game of pub hand grenade roulette. All we need is some film canisters. Please, gentlemen, arm yourselves each with a film canister, an indigestion tablet, one of those, and then a little bit of water in each. Each one of you then needs to be armed with a lid. There we are. On the count of 3, take your indigestion tablets, drop it in your film canister, put the lid on, bang it on hard, turn it upside down. Whoever pops last is your round. You ready, gents?
All right, lads.
Arm yourselves. 3, 2, 1, go. Bang it on hard. That's it. Go! It's your round. It's your round.
Come on out. Let's stay out. Had enough of your science shenanigans. You're barred!
Welcome back as we approach the climax of this explosive and spectacular frame. It's Brainiac versus Quintin Han. Brainiac snooker combines our strong dislike of the caravan with the strong desire for destruction. For each of the last 6 balls of the frame, there's an explosion, because in Brainiac snooker, as each ball is potted, a fuse is lit, which in turn blows up a caravan filled with a different gas or substance. With the yellow as propane, the green was butane. The brown was a mix of oxygen and acetylene. And the blue was highly explosive oxygen. So Quintin Han is on a maximum. Just 2 balls to go now, and he's got the 147. He needs all his concentration. He's potted it nicely.
140.
He's looking remarkably calm, unlike our Brainiac, who looks rather rattled. This caravan has been filled with a non-compressible liquid called H2O. In the water are explosive charges. There it is. You can see the water forcing its way out of the caravan through any available space, and the force of the blast has also knocked the caravan off its chassis. Very impressive. And so is Quintin Han, in play with 140, 1 pot and 1 bang away from the maximum.